if we needed any more proof on how petty the NFL owners are, here is reason 1,652,731. And I say that because the NFL filed a grievance against the NFLPA to stop their annual report cards, which ironically is spearheaded by the guy that we're playing tonight, Woody Johnson. And it's spearheaded by him, but it's not just him. Now, the obvious question would be, why would the NFL want to do away with the NFLPA's, the Player Association's own report card and their grades? Can you take a guess? Comment down below what you think. Otherwise, why do you think they want to get rid of that? Simple. Lack of accountability. It's what it is. It's the lack of accountability, because you have every single sports talk radio show that isn't bought by the NFL talking about how these owners are cheap, basically. You know? That's it. You know, they're so cheap. And Robert Kraft, as I've pointed out multiple times, has proven to be like that in certain areas. And Robert Kraft is one of the guys who's in favor of eliminating these report cards. Just FYI. Because when looking at the grades over the last two seasons, and these were the 2023 grades, of course, for the 2023 season that was shown in 24, as the one on the right is obviously the 24 season that was produced earlier this year. But treatment of families, F- to a C+, food and cafeteria, B- to a C, nutritionist, B- to a B, and then just going down, weight room, B- in 23 to an F in 2024. You have team travel, B- to an F, from 23 to 24. You have these guys who, again, are actually being held accountable now, who are proving that, hey, the NFL players are saying something, not through their representatives, not through, the media. No, they are going and making their cases known. And you want to know how I know that? In this ESPN article that was written today, saying NFL filed grievance against NFLPA to stop report cards, it was reported that this survey, the 2024 grade, the past survey that was released earlier this year, was done by 1,695 players, which, if you account of the 53-man roster for all 32 teams, that is every single player except one had a say on all of those issues that were just listed. So basically, every single player got to speak their truth. Not speak their truth. I hate that phrase. It's speak their mind as to what they like and what they want and how their team can improve. And so as I'm going through the article, part of what they point out is the fact that there is a joint survey or a joint report card that is supposed to be done every 3 years. The funny part is that joint report card hasn't been done since 2015. It has been 10 years. 3 report cards should have been made available. Maybe not to us, but maybe it was to them. Otherwise, they are reporting that it hasn't been done since 2015. And that joint survey is between the NFL reps and the NFLPA's reps. And they meet confidentially. So my question is, how many reps are doing this, are meeting? Is it one for all 32 teams and one for all 32 owners? Is it, do you have layers to these representatives from the NFLPA? Are they do these 32 teams, like, again, is it layers? Like, you have the senior representative and then a bunch of the lower reps, something like that. And with those reps, again, what matters to certain players is not going to matter to other players in terms of the hierarchy on these listed, right? So, for instance, right, treatment of families is going to have a higher value placed on players who have kids and want their kids at the stadium with their wives at the games. They're going to place a higher emphasis on the treatment of families versus, let's say, the locker room. Whereas other guys, probably single, are going to look at the locker room as a place they can go hang out, they can chill, they want a lounge, they want a big open space, they want a couple of TVs, they want this, that, and the other. They don't want to be tight-knit and, bouncing into each other every time they put on shoulder pads. So that matters, which is why the fact that this NFLPA survey has basically every single player showing what they want and what they believe is best compared to others actually means more than what the NFL joint survey, does, because it's only between the representatives of both sides. And then in this joint survey, this is the other thought that I had. In the joint survey with the owners, what are they questioning? What are the topics being discussed, right? Is it as in-depth as the NFLPA's report cards, treatment of families, food and cafeteria, nutritionist, dietitian, locker room, training staff, training room, weight room, strength coaches, team travel, head coach, ownership? Is it that in-depth? Are they asking all of those questions? Or is it more generic? And I say that because in the article it says, quote, NFL and union already agree to conduct a joint survey of players and this is the source's words, so the article says, quote, NFL and union already agree to conduct a joint survey of players. Then there's quotations in the article, so from a source that says, quote, regarding the adequacy of player care and other relevant topics, end quote, for both. So what is adequacy of player care? Are we talking about treatment of families? Are we talking about the training room? Are we talking about the doctors, the athletic trainers? Are we talking about the medical care that these guys get outside of football or during the season, or they have to be in the facility to get? Is that their only thing they're concerned about, or are they concerned about the adequacy of player care? Okay, how are we treating you? What do you think of the weight room? What do you think of the food that we're serving you? What do you think of how your families are being treated? Can your wives sit there in the box and watch you while they feel comfortable with how your kids are being taken care of in the kiddie room, right? Are those questions is it more in depth like that, or is it just basic generic, hey, are we taking good care of you? Is that, do you like this team? Do you like, playing here? Is everything cool? Oh, everything's great. Awesome. Love to hear. All right, next question. Like, what? You're not going to get any real answers from that. Also, what the hell do they mean by relevant topics? What does relevant mean? Again, are we going in depth? Are we breaking down the parking situation? Are we breaking down the fact that the field is made out of turf and not natural grass? Are we talking about, the food, the dietitian, the training room, the training staff? Do you like the athletic trainer? Is he a good fit? How is the owner? Does the owner treat you well? Does the head coach treat you well? I mean, those are really in-depth, relevant questions, but they could just say, hey, do you like playing for the team? Do you like your team? Do you like the area? Oh, great, done. And that's it. And you're not going to get anything. Also, all 1,696 players are not going to have the ability to voice what is important to them. That's the massive thing. And that's why I actually support the NFLPA doing their annual report cards. But the owners are upset because a couple of things. First, they're saying that this violates, quote, just want to make sure I'm, doing this right. In the article, it says, quote, it violates a CBA clause that says NFL owners and the union must, and extra quotes, use reasonable efforts to curtail public comments by club personnel or players which express criticism of any club, its coach, or its operation and policy. So it's written into the rules that these guys have to have, they have to watch themselves basically in what they say when speaking out against the club, its coach, or the policy or how the team is run. Okay? And they're also upset because they are saying that it's just general grades. There's no specific feedback given because it's just straight letter grades, as I've pointed out to you on this slide right here. And then you see at the very bottom, by the way, ownership in 23 got a D+, and ownership in 24 got a D. Just FYI. Otherwise, they're saying that there's nothing specific. Well, how about this? Because we're Boston and because we're Patriots fans, I'm going to read you, when you go to the NFLPA's website on the report card from 2025, which is for the 2024 season, I'm just going to read you the overview. Starting from the second paragraph, after receiving an F- last year for their treatment of players' families, the team made immediate improvements, including hiring a staff member to manage family services and adding a family room and daycare during games. These changes were received, and players believe that family support is now the team's biggest strength. However, key facility issues remain, including the need to renovate the building, a cramped weight room, and outdated locker rooms. It is anticipated that those issues will be fixed when the new facility opens in 2026. Additionally, team travel remains a significant concern. Only 39% of players feel they have comfortable amount of space on flights when traveling to games. The plane is dated, it lacks Wi-Fi, and still has ashtrays in seats. Is that generic for you? Or were there specific concerns mounted in there? Because to me, there were some specific concerns. And then when you break down, let's look at the dietitian. They got a B. So the Patriots got a B. And it says 82% of the players report that they get an individualized nutrition plan, ranking the Patriots 19th out of 32 teams. The players feel their team dietitian is moderately accessible, ranking 29th out of 32. So that to me says, all right, well, we need our dietitian to be on call more often, or hire another one to be on call. What do they want? Do they want like, okay, our dietitian sucks because I try to reach out at 3 a.m. when I'm drinking booze and I want Mickey D's and I'm trying to make sure that this fits right into my nutrition plan. Do they want that, or is that adequate enough? Because to me, that's kind of adequate enough. And then if you want, you can talk with the team rep and say, hey, what do you mean by this? And they can break it down even further. To me, I don't know how you could not see that. It's clear in black and white what the needs of the team are. Yes, is Mr. Kraft and the Patriots progressing and, trying to better the team grades? Of course he is. You see it right in the treatment of families. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's right there. Right in the treatment of families, taking it from an F- 2 years ago to a C+. Still not great. There's still guys who probably would like a little bit more done. But everything looks like that they're going to be building a brand new facility, which will hopefully probably house partially, family members and stuff like that for their children, so they don't have to be concerned. The wives can go off and watch their husbands play, on the field. They can feel comfortable with the kids, this, that, and the other. So the treatment of families is working or is improving. Other things are clearly improving. In the first paragraph, I wasn't trying to leave that out on purpose, but I was just trying to speed it up a little bit. Kraft announced a $50 million investment in a new facility adjacent to the stadium, which broke ground in December and is expected to open in 2026. See, things are improving, but they're going to talk about it as if it was last year, because guess what? It was last year. And while it's working, that doesn't necessarily mean it's completely finished. And so the other obvious piece I think that this comes down to is one simple thing that we all know. At the end of the day, this comes down to money. It's all about the money and how cheap these owners are. And you have other owners who are great. You have some owners who are cheap. It's clear as day. They all want improvement. They all want to be liked, loved, and favored. But when you're not putting it back in to the team, when you have college football programs that have state-of-the-art, brand new facilities every 3 years, and you're going to an NFL team that hasn't had a brand new facility in 25 years, like, what are we doing? This is the professionals. And when it comes down to it, an article came out in 2024 by Sportico saying that the owners make enough money to pay for the players due to the hard salary cap and even the benefit payments combined before the owners even cash the checks from sponsorships, they sell tickets, or they even sell one freaking beer. The TV revenue that goes to the owners is already enough to pay for the players and to pay for the benefit payments of those players combined before they do anything else, selling tickets, sponsorships, or anything else. And yet they are still worried about money. They're still worried about things that, they're just wealth and all these other things. And again, I can't speak to these, to who they are as people. All I can speak to is the actions that they do. And the actions are clear, at least from this, that the Patriots want better things in a lot of areas. And Robert Kraft seems to be on the right track. He is opening up a brand new adjacent facility. He's already improved the treatment of families. And I'm pretty damn sure that Robert Kraft would want to be on this, be an A on this list. Otherwise, it just sucks that these guys who are being called out, and rightfully so, and justifiably so. They are too chicken to be held accountable for their lack of investment, and thinking that their investment into the players, which, again, we all know the contracts are extremely filled with, which are not fully guaranteed contracts. So just leave it at that. That it's all about, they're like, oh, see, we're investing in you and you can do X, Y, and Z with that money. Or you could help the team out, probably write it off as a tax benefit. And there you go. Bing, bang, boom. Now we have a dietitian on full service. You got a brand new room that's got several babysitters that can watch the kids, and everything's going to be cool and great, and everyone can relax. The family room is perfect. It's pristine. The training room is massive. You get the brand new equipment. You have plenty of room. These guys are not tiny guys. They're huge. So they're just so freaking petty. As I said at the start of this segment, this is reason 1,652,731 of how petty some of these NFL owners are. And you want to know why I just threw in the word some and not all? Because in the very last line of this article on ESPN.com, it says one owner told ESPN that, quote, the only owners who don't care for the report cards are the ones who get the subpar grades, end quote. Not all, but a decent amount of petty. And of the owners that look petty in this article, the bottom 5 teams, you have Dave Tepper of the Carolina Panthers, Michael Bidwell of the Arizona Cardinals, Art Rooney of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, this is being run by Woody Johnson of the Jets, and Robert Kraft of the New England Patriots. All 5 are ranked at the lowest on the report cards in terms of ownership grades, and they don't like that.